Hello, this is New Vision TV. I'm Lynn Komjisha. Exactly 4 months since world leaders converged in Kampala for the first ever Refugee Solidarity Summit, the government has arraigned several senior police officers in the military court-martial, charging them with the most heinous crime of refoulement of asylum seekers. New Vision TV looks at the paradoxical situation.
As the month of June drew to a close, world leaders met for the first ever Refugee Solidarity Summit in Kampala and heaped praises on Uganda for accommodating refugees from different countries of the region and the world. Hosting 1.3 million refugees, the country is only second to Turkey. UN Secretary General Antonio Guterres kept thanking President Yoweri Museveni for Uganda's openness and humanist treatment of refugees. The country was said to become a model of refugee handling, and organizers had an ambitious target of getting $8 billion in pledges. As the summit drew nearer, the immediate target was revised downwards to $2 billion. But at the end of the summit, pledges made amounted to just over $300 million, with nearly a third of it coming from the European Union. Something was known to going very well. Thereafter, news of refugees from the Middle East who had failed to settle in well in Israel started finding their way into Uganda media. But then subsequent reports indicate that in Uganda, there are victims of rogue police officers who are extorting money from them. Then it transpires that some very senior police officers could have been engaging into the most inhuman of all international cross-border crimes: forceful returning of refugees to the very country that they fled from. The Ugandan military this late October arraigned several senior police officers in the army court-martial, charging them with kidnap and refoulement of refugees. Refoulement is the return of a refugee to a very country where they fled against their wish. The involvement of the military indicates that this is not a light matter. Usually, Uganda court-martials non-military people with the justification that they used weapons that are for the military. But police personnel in Uganda use the same standard-issue guns as the army. The use of chieftaincy of military intelligence could only indicate President Museveni's growing frustration with growing criminality in the Uganda police force. Museveni first publicly expressed this at the mid-March vigil in the home of slain Assistant Inspector General of Police, Andre Felix Kawesi, when he directed Police Inspector General Kale Kayihura to clean up his institution. A speedy trial of the police officers is expected, as the court-martial is unlikely to be influenced like a civilian court. Last month, a 1 millionth Sudanese refugee crossed into Uganda. The country also hosts refugees from Congo, Burundi, Rwanda, Somalia, Eritrea, and multiple nationalities that left Israel. Europe is currently being choked with the influx of refugees and needs to facilitate the resettlement of African refugees within Africa. But the hopes of making Uganda a beacon of hope for refugees are being scuttled by the rogue police officers, for there is no worse nightmare than returning a refugee to where they fled from. For now, the financial support to Uganda for refugee support is likely to dwindle, but while still the country's good name of hospitality to those in trouble has been severely dented by the acts of rogue police officers, the speedy action of the court-martial may, however, redeem it.
And in sports news, youngster Ali Omar Yassa excited the residents of Kalangala who turned up for the 4x4 and the Autocross Championship at the Kalangala Island on Saturday. Omar, popularly known as Bobo, riding on 85cc bike, took on the top riders in the autocross category in the National Forestry Authority and Sehab Forest in the morning for 3 non-stop hours, in which he finished 5th overall. After the enduro, Omar only rested for only 30 minutes and entered his buggy to battle drivers including Hassan Aliwi, Sabiti Muyanja, Umar Dauda, Unisani Bakunda, Alex Wakabi, Gilbert Balondem, Julius Mugambwa, and Kevin Lubambula. Meanwhile, the crew of sports journalists Julius Mugambwa and Sean Oseku, who finished second in the 4x4 cars challenge, later on rolled their Suzuki Escudo while participating in the Autocross Championship. Event manager Tendo Mutale said the event was successful and appealed to Kalangala authorities to keep the venue for motorsport so that a regular annual event is allocated to the area. You're still watching New Vision TV, and now for Pearl of Africa series, we take a look at River Katonga. River Katonga is located in the southern part of Uganda, particularly in Remiyaga County, Sembabule district. This stream forms a connection between Lake Victoria and Lake George, reflecting that it once drained from Lake Victoria into Lake George along its entire length. Take a look. River Katonga is located in the southern part of Uganda, particularly in Remiyaga County, Sembabule district. This stream forms a connection between Lake Victoria and Lake George, reflecting that it once drained away from Lake Victoria into Lake George along its entire length. There are various types of exotic plants that lie on River Katonga. These are breathtaking, and the birds that float on top of it are adorable. Katonga has also got animals which keep cool beneath its waters. These have led to what we now call the Katonga Wildlife Reserve. Getting to River Katonga is only 3.5 hours from Kampala by road, as shown on this Google map. So now tell me, why would you not love to come tell your own story after spending some time at this river? And that's all we had for you. Thank you for watching. Be sure to catch more of your updates on your mobile, on your desktop, on your tablet, anywhere on the go by visiting www.newvision.co.ug. I am Lynn Komjisha.